Hallmark don't really do very well at hiding big reveals. And by that I mean something happens in On the 12th Day of Christmas quite early on, where one of the main characters we're introduced to has a mystery surrounding him, and that he disappeared for some time and doesn't like Christmas anymore. And I thought it was blatantly obvious as soon as we learned that he did not like Christmas. My brain went, oh, well, that's why. And I'm obviously not going to say why just in case you don't work it out. But to me, I thought one of the big reveals in this and what the film was building up to was just massively predictable. Now, I did actually like this film, I should point that out. But I will say that it's not one of those films where it's predictable but an enjoyable narrative. That part of it was predictable and just boring. But the rest of it, I liked. Sans some really bad pacing, which I will discuss. This was released in 2015, directed by Harvey Crossland, and stars Brooke Nevin as Maggie and Robin Dunne as Mitch. Maggie and Mitch are both very likeable characters. The film opens with both of them at university. They're trying to get home for Christmas. There's a blizzard, so Mitch goes out of his way to try and make things, fun and magical for Maggie, to take her mind off of the fact that she's missing Christmas with her family. And then it cuts to however many years later, which I wasn't expecting, and I kind of liked that. Maggie is now working for a newspaper, and Mitch has returned to this city, having mysteriously disappeared, and is now hosting the morning radio show. And straight away Maggie says that she wants to know what happened to him. She wants to make it her mission to find out. So, as a viewer, we know there is a mystery surrounding him. But as I said, it is also blatantly obvious what it is. And then Maggie gets it into her head because Mitch no longer likes Christmas. Why does he not like Christmas? Again, obvious. That she's going to be his secret Santa, and she begins to send him gifts. The intention is sending 12 gifts, one every day for the 12 days of Christmas, with little instructions for him to carry out certain tasks to get him back into the Christmas spirit. And I thought that was lovely. I really liked that. He'd open them up on air, and we'd have the excitement as viewers of thinking, what is she going to send next? I will say that the poems that she sent with them were diabolical. They were so bad. And not even bad in a cheesy way. They were just terribly written. But aside from that, it was quite fun. I did think, what's going to be next? We got to day 3, I think. Day 3 or 4. And the film was about 80% done. And then there's just this montage of pretty much all of the rest of the days. And the pacing on that was so bad. I was kind of surprised at how bad that was, actually, because I was wondering, well, how are they going to fit all 12 in? They could have done mini montages throughout, so it didn't just feel like they spent an hour revealing 3 of them and then rushed the rest over the case of like a minute or 2. So the pacing is appalling. But that aside, and aside from the fact that the reveal was not a reveal because it was obvious, I really enjoyed it. It's very festive, primarily because Maggie is trying to get Mitch to engage in these acts of Christmas. We get to have the festive things like waiting in line for Santa and the carriage ride and building a snowman. And it's very enjoyable. So if you're looking for a festive Hallmark film, which, I always am, On the 12th Day of Christmas is actually really enjoyable. Just bear in mind those few things, that the pacing may irritate you and it's not as secretive as the film thinks it is. But other than that, On the 12th Day of Christmas, pretty good one to watch.